Everybody, it's Jeff back with another weekly installment of the most interesting coin auctions for the week of March 7th, 2021. Let's jump right into it. Starting with the market pulse, I want to ask, how did pre-33 gold coins performed? Obviously, gold's down roughly 300 plus an ounce from its all-time high. So I pulled a Mint State 65 1924 Philly St. Gaudens from around the time gold was trading above $2,000 an ounce. As you can see, this was August 9th of 2020. Gold at $2,010 an ounce. And this particular coin finished at a sale of $2,778. So that is a rough equivalent of 138% of gold value. Gold since has dropped $310 an ounce in a very similar looking coin, same grade, same year, mint mark, sold for $2,300. So around $470 cheaper, even though gold's down 310. As you can see, it's a slightly smaller percent of gold value. This might be a time where if you're looking to stack gold in a different way, some pre-33 gold, I'd keep an eye on these 1924 Philly St. Gaudens. Jump into the first auction. This was interesting because it's an absolutely massive 1,071 ounce silver bar from the shipwreck SS Garisapa. Feel free to pause it and read that interesting storied past that Great Collections explains. But this monster sold for $33,751. But what makes this auction interesting is actually just 2 weeks ago, we had a nearly identical 1,071 ounce bar from the same shipwreck sell. You can see February 21st, and that one sold for $36,000. But spot silver has been down over those 2 weeks. So let's compare what it would look like on a per ounce basis. As you can see, the February 21st sale sold for essentially $33.64 an ounce, which is a 22% premium to spot. Spot has fallen from $27.50 down to $25.25. And you can see the most recent one sold for $31.51 an ounce, which is down roughly $2.15. Which is right in line with the drop in spot price. So I thought that was interesting. These are massive bars, and it's certainly a cool way to stack silver if you have that kind of money. Jumping in the next auction, this is a very interesting Jefferson nickel from the popular War Nickel short set series. That's probably one of the most popular ways to collect Jefferson nickels is the War Nickels. And this is one of the elite grades and the elite toning. As you can see, a Mint State 68 Plus is a pop 1, none higher, and it's not full step. And clearly what sells this coin is the absolutely fantastic toning. I know this series very well. I collect them myself, and I know this to be one of the nicest top 4 or 5 War Nickels amongst all that are known in PCGS, not just by grade, but the quality of toning is just absolutely fantastic. This particular coin ended up at $7,374, which is a monster price. There's not a lot of things to compare to simply because you look at the population in such an elite grade on this War Nickel series, and there's only 4 total, including this one. As you can see, 45D has 1 in 68 plus and 1 in a 68 plus full step. And then the 43 Philly is the only other 68 plus. So this is there's not many, and in my opinion, I don't think there's going to be a huge growth in this particular grade in the future, because if you have a Jefferson nickel of that quality, you've probably tried to send it in at this point. But there is one relevant sale, the 43 Philly and a 68 plus. As you can see, the grade is the same, and there's only one with none finer, so the population report's the same, but the toning is just not quite as nice. So it makes you wonder, how much is that toning worth? As you can see, the Philly sold for $4,050 compared to $7,300 for the 44 San Francisco. And in my opinion, that toning maybe makes it worth it. Certainly worth more than the 43 Philly. The next auction, again, another 68 plus. This with the full band, the popular Mercury Dime series, but a very common date in mint mark. 44 Denver. It's very easy to find full bands. That was a solid strike year. And there's actually quite a few in 68 full band. I don't have it on here, but there was a 68 full band that ended yesterday as well that sold for around $900. And this one in 68 plus, how much is that plus worth? Well, this sold for $5,737. Very nice toning. But there's actually been a string of 68 plus full bands that have sold. All three of these sold in 2019. And it's amazing how different the prices were in 2019 just amongst these three. The first one, a non-CAC, so essentially the same grade mint mark as the one that just sold yesterday. So you could see sold at Heritage for $3,120. Now, I would argue the toning's not as nice. It's very specific kind of toning. You either love it or hate it. It's very unique though. And then the CAC sticker, also in 2019, sold for $5,040. In my opinion, that's probably the worst of the toning. I'm not a big fan of that. It's kind of some splotchy white spots on the reverse and just not a clean look in terms of toning. But that sold very well, $5,040. And then the total anomaly is this one on the right. And look at it, there's really nothing special, but yet it somehow sold for $27,000. And it did that just 2 months later than the previous CAC version sold at $5,040. It's a total anomaly. That was clearly a case of two bidders that had too much money and just wanted the coin for their registry set, because that is an absolute anomaly. So the one I sold yesterday, in my opinion, was in line with the increase in the market and the quality of the toning. The next to auction, this is a really cool Indian Sin because it's a very rare variety, 1894 over 1894. So you can see I blew up the picture there so you can see essentially the doubling in the date. Really cool. Just not many of these though. You look at the PCGS pop report and there's only two in this grade, two finer, and just not many have been graded at all in Mint State. And there's really not a lot of auction records to go off of. So the only thing I could really compare it to is the PCGS Valley of 13.5. But this one ended up selling for $18,000. So a very solid grade, a fantastic coin, obviously CAC approved. If you had the money and you love Indian cents, that is one cool variety. Jumping to the fifth auction. This is an interesting one. Obviously one of the original dimes, half dimes, 1794 Mint State 64 plus. This is an elite coin. Why this is interesting is not just the price of it, but when you look at the picture, there is a lot of scrape marks on this. Now, you see a coin like that in the, I guess, early 20th century, and you'd probably get a details grade. And obviously we didn't hear, and CAC even approved it. And I looked at some of the other half dimes of that era, and there weren't many, if any, scrapes like this. So this was an intriguing coin because obviously the toning's very nice and original, nice color, but man, those scrapes. So if anyone knows how or why those exist, I'd love to hear it in the comments because I'm not that familiar with it. But this particular coin sold for $47,200, which is in line with the PCGS value, but there was a Brent Pogue in an identical grade that sold back in 2015 for $53,000, and it did not have the amount of scrapes. It was CAC approved, and the toning was around equivalent. So as you can see, it's down from that sale, but I'd probably warrant some of it just on those odd scrapes. And then last was got to be just the holder. I've never seen a holder like this. This is really cool. Obviously, you could see this is the 44 Philly, Denver, and San Francisco Lincoln wheat cents. This is right around the war nickel era when World War II was happening. And this is not exactly an uncommon year. It's very common, actually. If you were to buy the individual slabs in the identical Mint State 67 Reds, you would have essentially spent $250, which makes you wonder, is this slab worth more or less than that? And if you guessed a smidge more, you would have been right. This sold for $283. So a very interesting slab. I don't know if NGC still offers this as a choice, but it is cool. And the value of the combined holder was $33. So that's all I got for this week. If you like these kind of videos, please subscribe because I put them out every Sunday or every Monday morning. Thanks for watching. Take care.